Hi friends, this is Madhavi with you for this UPSC Civil Service Exam Focus Prelims 2026. And this video is about operations in current affairs. So friends, it's important that we club together or we declutter lots of informations that are available in the current affairs. Say for example, we have to separate and consolidate and organize certain informations in the current affairs. Say military exercises, operations, and there are certain pieces in news, places in news. So these are some of the important facts that can be asked in the UPSC prelims, but we have to accumulate it together and study so that it is there in your memory and you're able to organize and consolidate and recall all the informations that are available in the current affairs. So just like a magazine that gives you places in news for every month in a consolidated manner, in an organized manner, we are trying to give you this video with operations, military exercises, pieces in news, places in news, and so on and so forth that will help you crack this prelims 2026. So this is the first video, operations in current affairs. So let's go deep. So as you know, there are a lot of conflicts that are going on in West Asia or Middle East, and there is a war that is going on in Russia and Ukraine. So considering these facts, you have to know the operations that are mentioned in the newspapers and what is the conflict is about. What is the operation? Who are the participating countries which are there in the news? So you have to be able to memorize that and you recall that and you're able to point out and answer those questions if at all is there in the UPSC. This particular information can also be asked in TNPSC, CAPF exams and other SSC exams and so on and so forth. So since you will be applying for various exams, I hope. So considering the fact this video is one pot where you can help you crack every prelims of any other exams that you're writing. Fine. So this is a particular snapshot or a picture that I was able to create through AI. Considering these things, like there are operations Northern Arrows that is against Israel Defense Forces and Hezbollah. So these in detail we will be seeing one by one in this video, in the slides going forth. But remember that this particular picture can help you recall and memorize and be able to point out or visualize the operations that we have that we will be discussing now. Fine. So we will be using this to summarize all the operations we have discussed, we'll be discussing in this video. So this is what you have to understand and going forward, please, this is all facts. So you have to revise it after 1 month, after 2 months, and then before the exams, you have to recall. So 3 times of revision for this particular operations is very important because these are very much a fact. So you can forget it. So remember that you can visualize this image once in 1 month and another in another month, and then again before the exams visualize these operations while going before going to the exams. Fine. So this was created, and this was also created using AI, but this is not very comprehensive. We will be looking at all the operations in detail in the slides. Fine. Coming to the Middle East crisis. Fine, friends, I tried to keep all the operations in a chronological order so that you will be able to remember the sequence of operations that are being conducted by various countries and their counterattacks, attacks, and all the operations that were in news in the past 1 year. Fine. So in the Middle East crisis, we will be understanding all the operations. And there are additional informations that you will be able to gain from this video because you will be able to understand what are the militant groups, what are the rebel groups, which countries. So these are the important things that you have to remember. But apart from that, what I will suggest you or I'll advise you is to understand the map behind this. So what is where is Strait of Hormuz? What are the bordering countries? Where is Iran? What are the bordering countries around Iran? And where is Syria? What are the bordering countries? Where is the Red Sea? And which are the countries are surrounding Red Sea? And what are the rivers which are draining into Red Sea? Or is there any river draining into Red Sea? And tell me which is the straits and which is the sea, Caspian Sea. We have this Caspian Sea, Black Sea, and what are the rivers draining there. So these are the important map-based current affairs that you have to remember going, because the based on the conflicts, based on the news surrounding the conflicts, we have to understand the map, the operations, the countries involved, the important places there, and important rivers, straits, bordering countries, lakes, sea, ocean, everything. Fine. So there can be any possible questions around these operations and conflicts. So do remember that they will not be asking you which country USA is attacking. They will not ask you like that. They will ask you what are the operation between USA and Iran, like this, or they can ask you this operation refers to what. So you have to say it is between Israel or US, or is it between Israel and Iran. So you have to come out with the fact. And also why I'm putting all the operations in one shot is they can also ask you in match the following. Sometimes older facts like 2 years back, some operation can be in use. They can ask you, they can club those thing in the match the following, and they can ask you in a one question itself. So four operations in a match, they can ask you in one question. So you have to know four operation in one shot to crack that particular answer and gain 2 marks or 2.5 marks. So remember that. So it's important that you know all the operations and in one hand. Fine. So let's decode one by one. So here, Middle East crisis. So what are the operations here in Middle East crisis? So we have Operation Al-Aqsa Flood. This was the first trigger, we can say, but a lot of conflicts have happened before, and this was conducted by Hamas. So Hamas is a militant group or a rebel group in Israel. Fine. Hamas attacked Israel, so Israel's defense forces in Gaza because of the occupation of Israel in West Bank and other region. You know, Hamas attack was called as October 7 attacks, and this also called as Operation Al-Aqsa Flood. It was a surprise attack on Israel triggering Gaza war by Hamas. Okay, so followed by this attack, Israel got triggered and they got infuriated, and then they launched this Operation Iron Swords, or it is called as Operation Swords of Iron. So this is against the Gaza attack by Hamas. This is to revenge October 7 attacks by the Israel. So the Israel's revenge attack or tit for tat attack was this Operation Swords of Iron. This is against the Hamas, which is a militant group in Gaza. And then you have to remember another important rebel group, that is Houthi. Okay, Hamas is a rebel group against Israel in Palestine or Israel. And there is another rebel group, Houthi. Okay, Houthi is another rebel group which is there in Yemen. Okay, Yemen is a country in the Gulf region. Okay, you all know Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Oman. So Yemen is a region in the Gulf region. So Houthi is a rebel group against the official regime of Yemen. Okay, there is a government in Yemen already. This Houthi is a rebel group against the Yemen. So this is Houthi. This rebel group had blockaded Red Sea. Okay, they blockaded Red Sea. So US response to disrupt or clear the blockade of Houthi was this Operation Prosperity Guardian or Poseidon Archer. It may be a very older attack that happened in 2023 and 2024, but I wanted to put this because this is a very important operation. So Operation Prosperity Guardian conducted in 2023 by US against this Houthi rebels, and there is a following operations in 2024 Poseidon Archer that is also conducted by US against this Houthi. This Prosperity Guardian operation was called a Sword of the US, and Poseidon Archer is called, Prosperity Guardian is called a Shield of the US, and Poseidon Archer was called a Sword of the US. So this is the important fact that you have to remember. This is against US against the Houthi in Yemen who blockaded the Red Sea. Then another important thing is Operation Rough Rider. Friends, these all happened in this almost in the same period because of various conflicts in the Middle East. So Operation Rough Rider is a US strikes against Iran-linked militias in Iraq and Syria. It is alleged or it is suspected that Iran helps militant groups in Iraq and Syria. So US striked against the militant in Iraq and Syria, which is supported by Iran, and the operation is called Operation Rough Rider. Okay, and then this again the counter attack by Iran on US, because what happened is when US struck Syria, the Iranian consulate in Syria was attacked. So Iran got infuriated and then they launched this operation True Promise. This is Iran's missile and drone attack on Israel after strike on Iranian consulate in Syria. So this is against Israel, not US. Iran's attack on Israel. And then again, Israel's retaliatory strikes against Iran happened, and this is the operation called Operation Days of Repentance. So Days of Repentance is Israel's retaliatory strikes against Iran. So you may wonder who was the one who first striked. It is all about, it cannot be concluded, but still you have to understand US, Iran, Israel, and there are lots of militant groups which are involved in the current conflicts. And then again, Israel's military operation against Hamas. Okay, another attack by Israel on Hamas is called Operation Guardian of the Walls. We already understood Operation Swords of Iron is also the same thing, Israel against Hamas. Operation Guardian of the Walls is also against Israel against Hamas. And then Operation Breaking Dawn. Okay, this is again an Israeli military attack, but it's against Palestinian Islamic Jihad. Fine, so it's up against Palestinian groups. And then Operation Northern Shield. This is an Israel attack on Hezbollah group. Hezbollah is again a militant group in Lebanon. So you have to understand the war is now happening in Lebanon also, which is a very neighboring country in near Israel. So Hezbollah is a militant group in Lebanon. This Israel is attacking this Hezbollah. This operation is known as Operation Northern Shield. There is a similar name, Northern Arrows. So Operation Northern Arrows is again the fight between the Israel and Hezbollah. And then the current conflict, this is known as Operation Epic Fury. So we are in the Epic Fury times, it seems. The conflict, this is a conflict between US and Israeli alliance and against Iran. Okay, so it's between US, Israel in one side and Iran on the other side. The operation is known as Operation Epic Fury and it's happening now. It's happening and going on. Another important operation that you have to know, understand, this is all the operation in the Middle East regions, attacking Hezbollah, Hamas, involving Israel, Iran, and US. And then there are certain other important operations that you have to know because they can ask you in a match the following. So you have to remember these things. We already know Operation Rough Rider is between US and Houthis. Other than that is Operation Spring Shield and Operation Claw Lock. So before understanding what is this operation, you have to understand there is a Kurdistan movement. There is a Kurdish militant group in Turkey, Iraq, and Syria. Okay, they wanted a separate country named as Kurdistan. Okay, this was not liked by Turkey. So Turkey don't like this country or don't like their territory to become a separate country. So they are against this Kurdish militant groups. So this Kurdish militant groups is it Syria and Iraq. They are suspected to be supported by certain governments or even Iran is trying to support Kurdish, it seems. So this Turkey is conducting an operation against Syrian government forces and Iraq against this Kurdish militant groups, and this operation is called Operation Spring Shield and Operation Clawlock. So Operation Spring Shield is against Turkey and Syrian government forces, and Operation Clawlock is between Turkey and Kurdish militants in Iraq. Fine. Then there is an Operation Unifor aspides. So this is a EU naval, that is European Union naval mission protecting the Red Sea shipping. We already know Red Sea is being blockaded by the Houthi rebels. So EU is against us, and this operation is called UNIFOR aspides, and US is also against us, and this operation is called as Rough Rider. Fine. Fine, another important operations which happened very long back but still important is Operation Deterring Aggression. Okay, or Operation Roaring Lion. This happened in December 2024-2025. This resulted in the fall of Assad regime in Syria. You all know this is the history is repeating. Now Iran is facing the same issue. Iran Ayatollah has been taken out. He has been killed or murdered. So this operation deterring aggression is in Syria. There was the Assad regime that was there. The US and other countries created the fall of Assad regime in Syria. Fine. This operation is called Operation Deterring Aggression or Operation Roaring Lion. So this is related to Syria. Fine. Then you have to understand when conflicts are happening, we try to rescue our Indian diaspora, Indian people, Indian origin people from those countries. So we had all India's rescue operation. So the Operation Sindhu is rescue operation from Iran. So we rescue the Indian immigrants who are there, and then okay, immigrants means those who are settled there, and we call immigrants from if they are going away from India, and immigrants if it is from if they are there in Iran. Fine. Then Operation Ajay. Okay, Operation Ajay is to rescue people from Israel, and Operation Ganga is to rescue people from Ukraine. Fine. So from Iran, from Israel, and Ukraine, you try to rescue the Indian people there. Fine. Okay, so this now the operation in Russia-Ukraine war. This is not much of importance, but still we will understand what are the operations there, if at all they are asking. Fine. We can also eliminate understanding the different operation that happened in Russia-Ukraine war. Okay, so important name, Special Military Operation. This is the official name used by Russia for its invasion of Ukraine. So this is the first name given by Russia for its attack on Ukraine. And you all know Russia started it. Okay, so this is a special military operation. This was first. And then Operation Z or Z campaign. This is again Russian offensive against Ukraine. Okay. And Operation Donbas offensive. So they keep all the operation names for different regions they occupy. So Operation Donbas offensive. Okay. Operation Dnieper Shield. These are all the operations conducted by Russia against Ukraine. Then comes the Operation Sea Baby. This is the Ukraine's attack on Russia. And Operation Spider's Web. Okay, this is again a drone attack by Ukraine on Russian military infrastructure. And another thing is Black Sea Maritime Campaign. This is again in Ukraine's another attack on Russian ships and ports in Black Sea. Fine. And then when Ukraine and Russia were in conflict, the NATO got triggered and NATO started its own military operations and military training to attack Russia anytime if the Ukraine wants their support. So these are the operations that are being conducted by NATO and its alliance. Fine. Operation Atlantic Resolve. This is a NATO military present in Eastern Europe to deter Russia. So they just wanted to tell them that we are ready. If you're doing something, we will come and attack you. So they wanted to deter Russia. So this is Operation Atlantic Resolve. They are not attacking, it's only a resolve. Okay, they wanted to deter Russia, keeping their presence in Eastern Europe. Okay. Then Operation Interflex. This is a UK-led NATO allies training the Ukrainian soldiers. So they are training, they are deterring. So they are doing something instead of direct attack. So they are trying to persuade Russia not to attack Ukraine in with a very strong military presence. Fine. Then Operation Unifier. Okay, the Operation Unifier is a military training mission for Ukrainian forces by Canada. So Operation Interflex is by UK, Operation Unifier is by Canada, again Operation Orbital is again by UK. Fine. Then European Deterrence Initiative. This is strengthening NATO forces in Europe by USA. Fine. Then NATO enhanced forward presence. This is the deployment of multinational battle groups near Russia, again to deter Russia. Okay, and then Operation Sea Breeze. This is a military multinational maritime exercise in the Black Sea and the Bulgaria, again to deter Russia. And Operation Saga City, a specific low-profile intelligence sharing framework. So they are sharing intelligence. They are doing some spy work and giving information to Ukraine, or Ukraine is giving information to US about the Russia's whereabouts and Russia's presence or forward movements. So this is to track the Russian Oreshnik missile movements and nuclear triad readiness. So they are spying, or they're looking, or they're keeping a record of what this Russia is doing. Okay, they're tracking Russian missiles and nuclear missiles and all. And this is a intelligence sharing framework between US and Ukraine. Fine. So again, to summarize, there are a lot of operations that are going between in Middle East and Russia and Ukraine. So we understood what is Operation Deterring Aggression or Roaring Lion. Okay, this is against the Assad regime in Syria. Fine. And we also understood what is this Operation Poseidon Archer. Okay, this is against the Houthi rebel groups in Yemen. So this is Yemen. This is a country called Yemen. And also Operation Rough Rider is also against the Houthi rebel groups in Red Sea. Fine. So this is against the Houthi rebel group by US. Fine. And Operation Sindhu is a rescue mission that you know. Fine. We also have Ganga. We had rescue missions from Iran, from Israel, and from Ukraine. Okay, so please have a look at all the operations that are in news, and you have to know that they can ask you in match the following, or they can simply ask you what is Operation Kaveri. So it is an Indian evacuation mission. Okay, so this is what you have to understand. Fine. So thank you so much, friends. Wish you all the best. Hope this video is very useful. So please share this video if you're finding it very useful and focusing on prelims 2026. All the best.